Hi, my name's Fallon, and I'm here today with Chegg Tutors to talk to you about conflict in literature. Conflict is usually the central tension of a literary work, and it helps to turn a series of events into a story. Um, Conflict is closely tied to the story's antagonist because both the conflict and the antagonist work to prevent the protagonist from achieving the goals that they've set. Um, Depending on who you ask, there are usually between 3 and 5 forms of conflict or types of conflict, sometimes as many as 7 or 8. Um, and I'll give you some here. So, one of the first types of conflict that's usually recognized is person versus self. So, this is where someone is having conflict within themselves, usually issues of conscience or guilt or just conflicting emotions, not sure how to feel or react in a situation. An example of this is Hamlet. Another type of conflict is person versus person. So, this is where the main character is conflicting with another physical person in the story. An example of this would be The Wonderful Wizard of Oz with the Wicked Witch. Another type of conflict is person versus society. So this is where the main character is conflicting with society as a whole. This can be because a large group of people are conflicting with them, or because the ideals of the society are in conflict with the character. But a couple of examples of this are To Kill a Mockingbird and Fahrenheit 451. Another generally recognized type of conflict is person versus nature. So this is where the character is conflicting with elements of nature like severe weather or wildlife. Two examples of this would be in The Life of Pi and Moby Dick. And another type of conflict, sometimes included in the other categories or considered to be part of the other categories, is person versus fate or a god or gods. Usually this type can be distinguished by the person naming fate as their adversary, or specifically naming the god or gods that they're having problems with, like in the Odyssey or a lot of other Greek tragedies. Another example of person versus fate is Slaughterhouse-Five. Another type of conflict is person versus technology. This one is a little more recent category, but it is when a character is fighting against really any kind of technological advancement. Examples of this include Frankenstein and Blade Runner. And some people also include person versus supernatural, though this is a less commonly considered type of conflict in literature. And an example of this is The Shining. Conflict in literature can be a recurring theme or individual occurrences, so it can happen throughout an entire book or literary work, or it can happen once. There can be several types of conflict within one work. A lot of the stories that I named have more than one type of conflict, but are most well known for the category that I put them in. And you can also pick out different types of conflict within your daily life. So, to recap, conflict in literature is the central tension of a literary work that helps to turn a series of events into a story. There are several different types, including person versus self, person versus person, person versus society, person versus nature, person versus fate or god or gods, person versus technology, and person versus supernatural. If you have any other questions, feel free to get in touch with me or another Chegg tutor. Thanks for watching.